Hey everybody. All right. So everybody's at home right now, and it's a fantastic time to focus on real health. Well, I want to present to you today the idea that you cannot begin to define real health without taking into account immunity. And if you don't know how to control immunity, then you're not going to have real health. So let's begin with a foundational idea, and that is, what does real immunity consist of? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a takeaway that you can apply immediately today. So let's begin with the idea that immunity has three components. The first is immune signals. The next are immune cells. And the final one is membrane linings. These are the three foundational elements that comprise immunity. And once you learn to exert control over any one of these things, or even better, all three, you can control real health because you can control immunity. What you're going to see today is that if you don't understand what these things are, you're going to do things in pursuit of health that will actually compromise immunity. And I'm about to show you that, okay? Now, I wrote an entire book about learning to steer populations of immune cells, macrophages, because immunity and real health and aging, they're all the same thing. They all go together. So let's take the example of long duration cardio. So if you're at home right now and you've got that Peloton bike and you hopped on it this morning and you did an hour of cardio and you got all sweaty and you feel fantastic, that's great. But let me tell you right now, stop. You want to stop that kind of stuff immediately. And here's why. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to explain a key class of immune signal molecules. And in learning these, you are going to begin to dial in how to drive real health, okay? So there's a class of molecules called interleukins. Interleukins are sort of like intermediaries between immune cells. They propagate signals for immunity. Now, what you need to know is that COVID-19 causes an explosion of signals from a very specific interleukin. It's called interleukin 6. I did a previous post on this. Well, here's why that's important. Interleukin 6 works the opposite of another signal molecule. This one's called interleukin 10. Interleukin 10 is like the anti-inflammatory signal molecule. It's the anti-disease molecule. Interleukin 6 is the disease onset. Wherever you see cancer, wherever you see inflammatory disease, you always find interleukin 6, okay? So here's why this is important. Long duration, intense cardio, like that hour where you get really sweaty, or even extreme weight training with very heavy weights, you're going really, really hard, you're going to get a temporary suppression of interleukin 10, and it's going to be centric to the respiratory tract. Now, this is critical because the COVID-19 virus requires an explosion of interleukin 6 in the respiratory tract, okay? So takeaway is this: short duration, short interval type stuff, interval isometrics, things like that. Those are fantastic to be doing right now. What you don't want to be doing is long-term sweaty cardio or extreme intense weight workouts, okay? Now, let me give you the opposing view of this. There was a paper published in 2018 that said you don't need to worry about this. It's all a myth, the myth of immunosuppression. Well, here's why that's not entirely accurate. That paper looked at long-term results from exercise. And the long-term result of exercise is that you actually improve immunity. That's fantastic. I'm talking about short-term. There is a lot of evidence about short-term immunosuppression. And in this day and age right now, that's all that's required is a short-term dip in very specific immune signal carriers for you to be in a position you don't want to be in, okay? So better to err on the side of caution. And what we've accomplished in this video is taken a step towards understanding some of the players in immunity and how you can steer and control them, and how what you do in the pursuit of health can affect them for positive or for negative, okay? So this was the first of many, and hope you enjoyed it.